The Great Depression, a time which rocked our nation. The term depression described the mood for both the country and its people, as well as for the economy. Homes and businesses were lost, many people became unemployed, and families went into poverty, making it hard for others to support their families.
The Great Depression was so interesting because America had been on such a high for so long, and just, the jazz age and everything was great, and everybody was having a lot of fun, and all of a sudden, it came crashing down. And I think that folks just sort of thought, is this the end of the American dream?
The Great Depression occurred on October 29, 1929.
Pointing to fortunes that were being made on the stock market. Even people with little money to spare wanted in on the action, and stockbrokers readily agreed to sell shares on margin, where they would lend citizens money to buy stock. These investors figured the stock's price was bound to go up and up, allowing them to pay back the stock's original price tenfold. The constantly rising price of stocks cast a spell over the nation. Noon-hour traffic stood still as people eagerly awaited news of their improved finances.
It was a series of global economic decline that began with the crash of the U.S. stock markets in 1929. Several things led up to causing this event, due to the usage of money as well as the warnings that were given, but ignored by many. We believe the Great Depression could have been avoided if the federal government would have not encouraged credit. Individuals became really confident about the economy. They depended a lot on credit, not being aware they would be harmed later. Purchases with credit concerned some economic experts. They noted that the economy downturn, such as debt, could destroy consumers. Individuals ignored these warnings, and they kept purchasing materials such as automobiles, radios, and more things on credit. In early December, stock analyst Roger Babson wrote, "Sooner or later, a crash is coming, and it may be terrific." Wise investors began to sell their stocks, but most people ignored this warning as well.
One might have said, looking around the United States in the 1930s, at the worst moment, there were 13 million people unemployed.
You had people in soup kitchens, you had people unemployed, people were losing their homes across the country. The whole nation came to a standstill, and everybody looking at America thought, was it all a mockery? Was it all just an experiment that obviously didn't work? And what will America be now? Will they just be a marginal nation? Will they ever recover from this?
The collapse of the infrastructure of a country that had really, up until that point, had been based on a sense of surplus, a sense of there being plenty for everyone, must have instilled in people a real calling to redefine who we were going to be in our history, who we were going to be in the progress of this country.
Many were very harmed by this. Imagine being rich and then in a blink of an eye, you have nothing. The most painful part was that they were warned, but they didn't listen. Now, many were in line asking for food and bread, etc. They were selling apples in order to at least feed their kids. They were living in shanty towns. Farmers were definitely ruined. Prices dropped dramatically. Many health conditions arose from this. For example, problems with their eyes due to the malnutrition. Pictures show how dirty they looked. Their clothes were damaged as well.
Our economy could have been saved sooner if it wasn't for President Herbert Hoover, who rejected government aid such as the proposal of the Federal Emergency Relief Board proposed in 1931. That bill stated to give states $375 million for direct aid to the unemployment, but Hoover refused to support the bill because he believed that the economy would recover more through individual effort and not from the assistance of the government. He stated, "The lesson should be constantly enforced that through the people supporting the government should not support the people." After looking over all of the facts and hidden truths, it really comes down to that the big boom could have just been a little pop.